Hi there. Welcome back to the Family Formation. This is Brandon. I'm the only one in the studio today. The only one who's going to be recording this up. Everybody else we had some scheduling conflicts. Hey, I mean, it's summer in Wyoming. You got to take advantage of it while you can. And Jared has some kids and they got stuff going on, so you got to take care of all that. And then, of course, work gets in the way. So we're going to take a break from the off-season history, teams off-season and history episodes. And today, out of a request from a listener and a friend, he said maybe we should do the leftover free agents. And that's a pretty good idea because there's still some pretty good players out there, some aging players. But yeah, so we're going to dive right into that. And we're going to start with Jair Alexander, who just became a free agent. He got released by the Packers. I don't know. I mean, I think they were just done with them. They had contract negotiations that weren't going well. Anyway, he signed with the Ravens, and that is a huge pickup. That's for the Ravens, that's just the rich getting richer. I think he's going to fit in very well there. I think he's going to be he's going to be a full-time player. I think he's going to be on the field every defensive snap that he's healthy. um and yeah, I think that's going to beef up that secondary. That's already pretty good. I know one name that sticks out is Marlon Humphreys. I mean, they've already got pretty good secondary there. So yeah, I mean that's a big pickup for them. Another guy that's come up is Jalen Ramsey. I know he's not a free agent, but there's a lot of drama there in Miami. And yeah, I mean the guy has always been kind of a mess, and it used to be that he was probably worth the trouble. I don't know if he is so much anymore. He's not the player he used to be. So if they do trade him, which I feel like they need to make this trade. They need to get rid of him. And one team that comes to mind is the Lions. And the reason I say this is because they got Dan Campbell, hard nosed coach, much more hard nosed than I think those the soft coaching in Miami with Mike McDaniel and all that. And I think that he can kind of whip him into being a good, being a not an every down player. I don't think he's going to play every down, but I mean they need depth. They've showed that last season, especially in the playoffs. So, but I also think if they can get him to turn his attitude around a little bit, he could be a mentor for some of those players they do have in there. So I do. I think they're expecting a trade on him before training camp. Other news for that one was like the Rams and the Raiders. I think, yeah, going back to the Rams, I could see that. The Raiders, I don't know. I mean, maybe, um, you know, with the new regime there, maybe they can get him to play well. I don't really care for the fit with the Raiders as much as like maybe the Rams, but I do like him going to a hard nosed coach, and I don't think either of those teams really has that. Pete Carroll, yeah, I think he's kind of a buddy coach, is what it seems to me. So I would more see, I'd like to see him more with the Lions. So another thing coming up, another issue, I guess, is the rookie Shamar Stewart, who got drafted by the Bengals in the first round. I mean that's a weird one, but they might go all the way into the season with this, but they're trying to figure out language in his contract. What it sounds like is they have a lot. There's a lot of contracts out there, a lot of rookie contracts and even veteran contracts that talk about you lose guaranteed money if due to your own negligence. I guess if you're doing things wrong. What am I thinking of behavior wise? And so, I mean, the problem with that is, I guess, with the Bengals, they haven't done contracts like this before. Obviously, I mean, they're the Bengals. We see they get in trouble a lot, and players don't have to get rid or I guess give up money there. So, I mean, but they're trying to right that ship, and so I think the problem there is that he doesn't want to be the first person that has that writing that type of language in his contract. So, I mean, I think that's a big deal. That was a first round pick. I mean, the guy could be a great defensive end. He could be a bust because he didn't have great production in college, but he has a lot of the intangibles that they like. They have a lot of the numbers. He's a big, solid guy, fast, everything. So I mean, that one's kind of ugly. It's just more Bengals drama. So going on to more of the list of the free agents, I think Rasul Douglas, cornerback, played last year with the Bills. Really good cornerback. He didn't have a great year. He started great year last year, but he's starting to get a little older. But I really feel like ESPN. I really feel like he's still a pretty good cornerback. Just had a bad season. ESPN has him going to the Texans, which I don't mind. Texans probably needed a little bit. Me, I kind of like a veteran cornerback like that. Like we just talked about the Bengals. That's a team that I could see needing a veteran cornerback, somebody who can get in there. And yeah, he might not be the every down back, but he can get in there and make some really good plays and possibly mentor again, which you're going to hear that a lot about these guys on this list because at this point they're all getting a little bit older. So yeah, I think he can be a piece there. Or he can go to Houston. I don't mind that, but I really think that somebody like that in Cincy would make a little bit more sense. Another free agent is wide receiver Amari Cooper, 31 years old. ESPN has him going to the Cardinals, and I couldn't agree more. I really like that because I mean his best days as a player, as a playmaker, are behind him. But he can still be a great mentor for Marvin Harrison. And, I mean, he can still make some plays. I don't think he's going to be out there and he's not going to make 100 receptions, I don't think. He's not going to be that guy, but he could still get out there. The one thing that bothers me about the unity with him that with the Cardinals is the quarterback play. So I think they showed in Buffalo that with Allen and Murray kind of play the same game. They kind of they extend plays and they can get out and extend plays. And you need wide receivers that are kind of smart enough and know the game. They have it in their skill set to get open after that fact. And I don't think Amari Cooper was that guy last year. And usually you see that with these veteran receivers that they kind of know that by now. But I don't think he was that guy. So that's my only downfall there with him is that when Kyler Murray, who is much shorter than Josh Allen, can get out of the pocket and he likes to get outside the pocket, is Amari Cooper going to make himself available and get open? I'm not sure there. I don't think that he's going to really, that's not going to be his bag though. So I really think that, again, mentorship there. I really like that from Marvin Harrison. Another guy is cornerback Kendall Fuller. Again, we're in the 30 range. He's 30. ESPN has him going to the Panthers. He's from the Dolphins. And me personally, I kind of like to see him. I like to see him go back to the Dolphins. I don't think that he had a great season, and I'm not sure he's going to start there, but I think he has a little bit of gas left in that tank, and he can help shore up a Dolphins secondary that I feel like has been pretty waning, and they didn't really do enough. I don't feel like in the offseason so far. So I'd like to see him go back. He already knows the system there. I think he would be okay there. Another cornerback again is Asante Samuel Jr., which I could still see. If the Dolphins want to fork out a little bit more money, you can go to him and get him too as well. They don't. I didn't see anything where they have him predicted to go. It kind of looks like he's going to get around 10 to 11 million. He's only 25, which is crazy that he's still even out there. I feel like. So he had 6 interceptions. He has 6 career interceptions. He only played in 4 games in 2025. So I think people are waiting for him to get healthy, maybe. So the one I see is the Jaguars. I can see them going for him. They were, last in passing defense in the league. I think that can only help shore that up. I think a lot of their passing defense was actually getting to the quarterback, but also, it couldn't hurt to have a pretty good cornerback back there. Might be the starter, might be number 2. So I like him going to the Jaguars. Another cornerback is Mike Hilton. There's quite a few cornerbacks here in the middle. Mike Hilton, he's 31. I believe that Mike Hilton came from the Bengals. They have him. I didn't see him on a list. I have him going to the Panthers. And yeah, I like that because like we talked about Kendall Fuller to the Panthers, but I think Mike Hilton might be a little bit better there. And I could see him going with Kendall Fuller as well. I just think that Mike Hilton coming in, the Panthers were last in total defense and 23rd in passing defense, so they really need to revamp. And I think putting a guy in there who's going to be more of probably a nickel back in there, probably come in on passing downs is going to be, it would help them out quite a bit. A wide receiver that's still kind of, I think, relevant is Keenan Allen. He's 33, but he's still a huge body. The guy has, great history of work there. And so, the guy's still pretty good. I'm surprised he's still out there. I think he's last with the Bears, which I see them moving. I see why they moved on from him because they were getting a little younger there, and they did quite a bit in the wide receiver area. But ESPN has him going to the Dolphins. And I don't know if I like that. Yeah, they're having trouble with Tyreek Hill, but they got Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek. I could see maybe a third wide receiver for him, but I don't think I like that. Me personally, I think that he is that veteran that they've been trying to get in Buffalo. I think he's that guy. I'm surprised the Bills haven't pounced on him yet. He could mentor Keon Coleman. And I just really feel like, I'm surprised they haven't gone out and got him already. The guy still can make some really good grabs. He's a big wide receiver. He's going to win those jump balls. And with an arm like that Josh Allen has, that connection, I think in the red zone would be awesome. So That's where I see him going. I think that would be great. Then you go on to a guard, Brandon Scherf. He's 33, which is old, but in guard wise, I mean, yeah, he's getting on the end of it, but usually they can play to 36, 37. He's a great player. I think it's just his age that's holding him back. The ESPN has been on the Seahawks. I couldn't agree more. I think the Seahawks offensive line is terrible, which, being a Niners fan, I'm not, not unhappy about that. But if I'm the Seahawks, I'd definitely look at this guy, if anything, as a depth piece. He's going to be the number one or number two at a position. I think that they went and they've invested in their offensive line a little bit, but I do feel like that he could definitely get in there and do some work. And I'm going to look up see who he would be beside because as far as I'm concerned, they only have I think they went Gray Zabel, and so I think that he could play opposite on the other side of Gray Zabel, and maybe move that other guy to center is what I'm thinking of, and I just can't remember her name. Yeah, Christian Haynes. Move him into center and battle for that center spot with Olu Oluwatimi. So I mean, I'm that's a one they should have already jumped on as well. I'm surprised they haven't. They need help there. So another one, Edge Zadarius Smith. He's 32 years old. ESPN has him going back to the Lions, which I'm okay with. I mean, if they were to get him and bring him back in, one team that I could see him going for, or he had 4 sacks in 8 games in 2024 with the Lions, which is I think that's pretty good. I think they brought him in and he did well. So I think a team that I'd like to see him go to is the Steelers. And I say that because they drafted Derek Harmon, and I think that he could get minutes behind him and also help mentor him and let him sit. When he's sitting, they're not going to drop off a lot when they go to Zadarius Smith. And he's showing that he's still, I mean, 4 sacks in 8 games. If you're going to tell somebody that, a guy's going to get 8.5, 9 sacks, 10 sacks a season, that's, on pace for something around there. I think they're going to be pretty happy with that, especially when he doesn't have to come in and start and he can just play short minutes and still get all that burst and just be that good. So another guy is another edge. We're looking at Matt Judon. ESPN, or he's 33, and that's weird because it doesn't feel like he's been in the league that long to me. But ESPN has him going to the Vikings. I like that. I do. And I agree. I think that they need some depth after Van Ginkel and Greenard. And they drafted Turner. And so I think that, while he's in the wings waiting to get his shot, I think that if you bring in a guy like that, who again, it's going to be the same role. He's just going to come in. He's going to get short minutes. He's going to have a lot of burst. And you're going to play him in between those guys getting rest. And he's not going to have to be your number one guy. He's not going to make a lot of tackles. He's just going to come in off the bench, make it quick. I guess make some noise and then get out and then let these guys back in because they do have a great pass rush there in Minnesota now. I mean, Van Ginkel's a stud. Greener's pretty good. Turner's, I think he's going to be good. So another guy coming up is offensive tackle Jedrick Wills Jr. He's 26. He's one of the youngest players on this list. Now, honestly, I'm surprised. I think that Jedrick Wills may have had some attitude issues, and I'm not sure. I mean, that's what it seems like. But I'm kind of surprised that he's not off. Maybe that's all it is. It's just attitude adjustments, attitude issues. But I really like his win rate is 92%, which is in above average in the NFL. It's not elite, but it's above average. And I actually like him to go to my team, the 49ers. I think that they need somebody like that'll add depth and maybe even compete for a starting job. I think this guy he just needs revamped a little bit. Maybe get somebody on him who's going to get him going again because I think that he could be could be really good still. That's a pretty good win rate, so I like that. Um, yeah, that's what it was. He was the one who come out, sit out a game saying a business decision. So a little bit of attitude. He's that guy. Played for the Cleveland Browns, which, whatever. It's the Browns. Still, you got to be a professional. They had a terrible season. But, yeah, I think, though, if you can bring him in, you get some hard-nosed coaches and GM like Lynch and Shanahan, I think they can turn that around. And then you got, you know, Trent Williams, and I think he could. I think he could actually compete for the starting job there. To be honest with you, at one of the at the with McKivitz. But if anything, he could be waiting, and he could be a backup for Trent, and then maybe eventually take over for Trent. Trent Williams maybe has one more year left. So, all right, another guy, safety is Justin Simmons. He's getting older too. He's 31. ESPN has him going to the Colts. I don't mind that one at all. The Colts do need safety help there. Another team that I could see him going towards, and I think I mentioned them already, is the Dolphins. And the reason I say that, they do need, like I mentioned, they need um, secondary help. They just do. That's one place that I feel like they've tried a little bit this offseason, but I don't know if they've found their guys. I mean, on their depth chart, they still got Jalen Ramsey is starting at the right cornerback. At safeties, they've got guys coming in from. They did bring in Ifeatu Wanwu, hell of a name, from Detroit. They brought in Ashton Davis from the Jets. They did end up drafting a guy, and they've got Elijah Campbell from the Jets. I don't know. I mean, I still think that they could use somebody to come in there and still compete. I think Justin Simmons still can compete for a starting position, and if anything, he could be depth over these guys. I don't see these guys really tearing it up for him. Also, another thing I really like on the Dolphins, they've got a cornerback named Storm Duck, and that's awesome. I didn't know they had a guy named Storm Duck on there. I like that name a lot. That's funny. Um, Another guy coming up, linebacker Kazir White. He's 29. I looked into him a little bit. He actually, guy's pretty good. You know, he's a tackler, man. He had 60 tackles. I don't think he played every down for the uh, Cardinals. I mean, he had the second most tackles from what I understand on the team. He had 2.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. So, I mean, 2.5 sacks isn't that great, but 9 tackles for loss is pretty good. So ESPN has him going to the Titans, which that doesn't bother me. I could see that. They probably do need a linebacker outside of, I think they got Cody Barton from the Broncos this offseason, which is good, but I don't think they have a guy beside him that's set to be a starter. So I could definitely see them going to the Titans. But again, I think the Jaguars need to shore up their defense quite a bit. They do have um, some pieces there in Jacksonville that they've been trying to muster together, but it seems to me they're still trying to get on a linebacker that's going to be a starter and a long-term starter. I still think that Kazir White at 29 could still have 3 or 4 years left in him, and he doesn't have to play every down if you do have guys that you can rotate. So that's good too. I mean, they got Devin Lloyd. They brought in a guy from Oluokun from Atlanta. They did draft a couple guys. I like Jack Kaiser. I think he was a Notre Dame guy, and Jalen McLeod. So they are trying to find guys, and of course they have Chad Muma as a backup linebacker, which is Wyoming, right? Go YO. But they're still trying to find a guy there. Another team I could see him going to would be the Bears, who are still in need of depth at the linebacker position. So another guard, another lineman is Will Hernandez, who is 30. He's pretty good. It's his age, I think, is what's holding him back a little bit. I think he did get hurt this last season, so he, again, one of those guys who has an injury that I think people are just kind of waiting that one out. He does have a 94% block win rate over the last 3 seasons that he did play. That's incredible. That's really good. Of course, that's above average. One team I see him going towards and putting him in the mix for depth and possibly even starting would be the Bucks. I like that. I think that the Buccaneers just need a little bit of depth there. I don't know if they need a starter, but he could be prepared to go in and possibly start if need. And obviously, just injuries pile up. So he could be that guy. I'm trying to see. They got a Cody Mock, and they did get Ben Bredesen from the Giants. It looks like as an unrestricted free agent. They're. I don't see guys there that are just going to tear it up. I mean, they're still looking, so I could definitely see him possibly coming in competing for a starting position or just another depth piece right behind those guys because I think he can play center as well. So I don't know why the Buccaneers wouldn't try that. That would be a pretty good move, I think, on their part. Now, a guy I didn't even really want to talk about that much, but still somehow is relevant, is the edge rusher Von Miller. He's 36. It's crazy that this guy is still just in there. He did. He had 6 sacks last season, which isn't great, but I mean, the guy's 36 years old. He's still kind of getting it done. The only place I could really kind of see him going is a place that just needs a rotational piece. Somebody that's not. He might play. I mean, I don't know. He might only get 10 to 15 snaps per game in a place. That's where I see him trying to get to a place like that where I mean, short bursts. Just get in there and just make a difference. Show him something different. But I could see the Patriots being a place like that because they were last in sacks for teams in 2024, so they need to get to the quarterback. But they've already done quite a bit, I think, to shore that up. So I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where this guy he's gonna have to go somewhere that they don't mind paying him a little bit, and he's gonna have to they're gonna have to get a hell of a discount on him. Otherwise, he's just not gonna play in 2025 because teams are not gonna gonna put out a lot of money for a 36-year-old who is not really playing at a high level. I mean, the guy was elite when he was younger. He really was, and maybe he could rejuvenate a little bit somewhere else. But let's just face it. I mean, he's just up there. He's a little too long in the tooth, and I mean, you lose speed. That's just all it is. He's tighter in the hips. He doesn't have that lower burst. So we're looking at edge rushers there is like Harold Landry with the Patriots, left outside linebacker, Anfernee Jennings. I mean, so they could still use somebody to come in. They did get Milton Williams, who's defensive tackle. That dude's gonna take up some blocks in there, so that could be good. Keon White is a defensive end there. So I mean, they could throw him in there, but they are trying to get better at getting a quarterback. They proved that. They drafted 2 guys, Joshua Farmer and Braden Swinson. So I mean, they're trying. They've got, I think 5 new guys, 6 new guys at that position. So they're trying to get an edge rusher. And so, I could definitely see him come in. Like I said, Robert Spillane is on the right inside linebacker, Anfernee Jennings. So I mean, they're trying to get better at getting the quarterback. So I could see throwing him into the mix with that if they feel like that, he could maybe put their defense over a little bit, just give them a little there. But it's just tough talking about that guy. Cornerback Stephon Gilmore, another one of those guys. He's 34. ESPN has him going to the Saints, and yeah, why not? I mean, they do have cap space somehow for it. The guy still plays decent, but I don't think that he's going to be going there to play full time and not get a ton of minutes. I think that I like him going to the Saints as a limited mentor role with Kool-Aid McKinstry there. I think he can teach these guys how to be professional. The guy has had great plays. He's played in Super Bowls. He's played with really good teams, and he's played on some bad teams as well. So I mean, the guy knows how to be a professional. So again, just like I said, a lot of these guys are going to be mentors. They're getting older. So another edge rusher, Jadeveon Clowney, and this is a guy who's only 31. And I feel like he's been in the league a long time, but it's probably just because he moves around quite a bit. ESPN has him going to the Jaguars. I'm okay with that. If he went there, I could see them. Like I said, they need help getting guys like that. But I also think that the Falcons, who were 31st in sacks in 2024, could use somebody to get in there and help them get to the quarterback as well. I know they were working on that position. They know that they were terrible there. I mean, it's right on the stats don't lie type of situation. The bad thing, I mean, I think Clowney might have got hurt at some point during the season, but he only had 5.5 sacks in 2024, which is crazy. Like I said, Von Miller had more than he did, only by half a sack, but you know that is still he still does. I think that yeah, the Falcons have Morgan Fox they brought in. I know they run the 3-4, so he might fit in there. But they also do have they already brought in the Leonard Floyd, which they already got their aging pass rusher. They drafted James Pierce Jr., who some people say could probably be the biggest bust in the draft. I think one of our guys even said that they didn't really care for him. But I actually think I like that pick. But they know they need to get better there. And I guess maybe add Clowney to the mix and see if he can add a little more, like with Leonard Floyd, and get in there to get somebody. But yeah, again, Clowney, I don't like his production, so not real high on that guy. Never really have been. So wide receiver, Tyler Boyd, who's 30. This is interesting. I mean, I think he's a big body, and ESPN has him going to the Eagles. Which I mean, I guess he'd go in there and maybe be the third or fourth guy, behind Smith and AJ Brown. Maybe get him in there, get him in the mix a little bit. I could see that. But one place I think that he could probably go to and help them out more would be the Browns. And if the Browns feel like they're going to compete at all this next season, I do feel like that's one place they need to build up on. I know they have Jerry Judy, and I like Jerry Judy. I know he has hands problems, but Jerry Judy can be really explosive and do really well, which you've seen him playing against the Broncos this last season. So, but yeah, I think that Tyler Boyd would probably fit in well there. I like him going to the Browns. So I might not have hit on everybody. There might be some guys out there that I might have missed, but yeah, that's about all I have on my list. I did about, what was that, 15 to 20 guys. I mean, it's just getting slim pickings now. I know the um, Bengals, drama. The Dolphins are in drama with the Jalen Ramsey stuff. Guys who I feel like if they think that they're going to be in the mix at all, I mean, they can go get some of these guys. Some of these guys might be really good. But overall, these guys are going to come in at injury points in time. Some of these guys might not get signed until after preseason when injuries start to add up. So the one thing though, I'd be on the lookout for the Jalen Ramsey trade. I do feel like that one's coming soon. They do say before training camp, so that would be. I mean, training camp's open. I think soon, if not in beginning of July. I'm pretty sure. So that could happen anytime. So yeah, I mean, that's our guys. If I left out anybody, sorry. Go ahead and leave a message to tell me how stupid I am that I didn't bring up a guy. That's fine with me. No, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of guys. Keenan Allen was one that I just keep going back to. I really think that guy still has a lot to take, and I think he could bring a lot to an offense. But yeah, so this was a fun episode that I decided to do quickly, do on my own. I did some homework, but yeah, if you guys check it out, go ahead and get on Podbean. If you're on YouTube, check us out on YouTube. We're doing video now. Yeah, just look for us anywhere you can get your podcast. Appreciate you listening. This has been the Finley Formation.